planets. So Alienworlds is set in a time where the pandemics on the Earth have created such a situation that we found a message, I think, in the Bitcoin blockchain from the aliens, which has allowed us to travel to other worlds. And those other worlds are run by the Federation of Planets. And the Federation of Planets has invited us to come along, or allowed us to come along. And we're basically settling there's 6 planets to begin with. And we're settling on those 6 planets. And each planet offers various games to the humans. And we're going to start playing those games, and we're going to start. Do you want me to go into details of how everything is going to work?
Yeah, why not? Keep going. I think it's good.
So, okay, the first game which we'll be playing is the mining game, because we've just arrived. And the in-game currency, or the in-game resource, is called Trillium. So once we arrive on the planets, the first game is going to be the mining game. So everyone gets a shovel, and everybody can start mining for Trillium. So you go to the website, you click a button, and you'll start mining. So once we have the Trillium can then be staked to a particular planet. So you'll decide which planet you like the best, and you can stake to that planet. And that eventually that will allow you to vote for people to run the planet, who will then govern how the Trillium that the planet receives will be administered. So the more Trillium is staked to the planet, the more Trillium the planet will receive.
Receive from where?
From the Federation. So the Federation has allocated a huge amount of Trillium to give to the planets over time. And the way it decides how much to give to each planet is by how many people get behind that planet and how many people stake to that planet. So as part of the first game, there's also like a land grab. So we'll be selling pieces of land of the planet, which can be then mined. So when you mine, you decide which piece of land you want to mine on. And if you, for example, own that piece of land, you can decide, right, anyone who mines on my piece of land, I'll charge them a commission. So every time they mine, you get a small amount of it. So that's going to be quite interesting, where certain people are going to say, okay, mining on my land is free. Other people, maybe they have a slightly richer piece of land. They may choose to charge a small commission. So yeah, so even with the mining game, I think it's going to get a little bit interesting with how people play it, and we'll see different types of people, and hopefully we'll start to see people coalescing around various different planets. The idea is that each planet would be a community. So you may have the wax community as one planet. You may have like another community from even another part of the cryptosphere. Like you may have the EOS people come along, and they start, like, for example, the upland community. They may well decide, right, we're all going to come here and we're all going to buy pieces of land on this planet, and then we're all going to make this planet our home, and we're going to encourage all of our community to stake to that planet, so therefore that planet gets the strongest and receives the most income. So it's going to be a bit of a battle for resources from the Federation to begin with. So it's going to be fun.
What happens if everyone uses the same planet and one person each uses the other one?
One person each uses the other one. So there's only one planet stakes to.
Yeah, there's one planet where 99.9% of all users use, and then there's these other planets where just one user per planet is using.
That wouldn't be the best strategy. We're going to discover this because it's going to be interesting. It might happen. We don't know.
Yeah, but what I really meant is, like, in a situation where you say that the planet with most active users get more Trillium, then it makes
Yeah.
sense that you want to join the one that has the most users, or do you want to join one that has less users?
There is a limit. So I think it's 375,000 per day, trillium, which is way less than 1/6 of the total amount that's sent. So if everybody was to stake to a single planet, they would actually receive less than if they all distributed equally between the planets.
Okay.
Collectively, they would receive less. So it wouldn't be a good strategy for everybody to go towards the same planet. But I would imagine if they did do that, let's say it's only the wax people and all the wax people just want to stay together because they love each other so much, they want to all stay in this one particular planet, then I think it would benefit other people, like a small splinter group, to come along and stake to another planet, because they would have more control of that planet, which means that they could actually take all the trillium, whereas the group with more people are less likely to come to consensus on taking it all for themselves.
So there may be a benefit to sticking with your team unless this other planet has less people and you can go and get a bigger stake in that planet.
Yeah. And even we're thinking that there may be some competition between planets, so that if a smaller planet which has fewer people staked to it builds up too much trillium in their pot and they don't spend it, then another group could break off from the larger planet, come and take over the smaller planet, and steal all their trillium. So there's going to be a little bit of gameplay here, and you have to be careful as to how much you're exposed to the other planets and the other people. So it's going to be interesting, and we don't know how it's going to play out. We don't know what people are going to do, because people are crazy, you know that. So
yeah.
So yeah, it's going to be interesting, the different gameplays that come together and how people organize together, because that's what it's all about. You know, at the heart of it is the DAX, which is people creating these ad hoc groups to work together to decide how to spend the trillium which is incoming. So originally, by default, 80% of the incoming trillium will go towards the mining game. So 80% will be mined out, which leaves 20% for the council of the planet to decide what to do with it. So they could decide to put 100% back into the mining, or they could decide to pay the council members, or they could just decide to pay people additionally based on how many votes they're staking. So they may offer an additional voting reward to people who come to the planet. So none of this we can predict, which I think is the most fun part of the game. So we just don't know. We're setting up these basic games, and we're setting up the original games. But what the planets do with their trillium and how they operate in the future is completely up to them. They will have full autonomy.